How's things? All right?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good. Sorry about that. I just lost track of time and I was just messing around. So,
No worries.
so
Yeah, do you prefer being called Laws or Lawrence? I'm gonna ask first.
Loz is fine. I don't mind either, but yeah, Loz is the usual. So that's cool.
Okay, get right into it. You guys have a
Yeah.
new album coming out next week called Sleep Society, and I just want to know what
Yeah.
the recording process was like. Is it different during the pandemic? Did you feel it was sort of the same?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely been different. I mean, the UK sort of lockdowns have been like, all over the place really in terms of like, trying to figure out what the best way to do things are. I mean, we're really lucky in terms of. So when the pandemic first hit, we were actually touring Canada and America, and we cut the tour short and came home. But we were scheduled to be writing and recording once we came home anyway. So quite like sort of luckily, the sort of schedule sort of worked in our favor, if you like. So that was quite lucky for us. And then yeah, so going in and out of different restrictions. Sometimes we've been able to have like a few people at our warehouse space where we operate the band from, and then at other times not so many. So it's been a combination of sort of going in and trying to be involved, and then stripping, like, kind of stripping everybody back and sending everybody back home. But we managed to get the job done, and we really can't grumble. I know a few people, like a few different bands that have released records sort of during the pandemic, and they've been sat on it for a while now, not been able to tour it. So up until this point, we've been quite lucky with how everything's fallen into place. And yeah, it wasn't too much of a strenuous task. In the past, when we've been trying to write any record, we've been sort of touring as well, and that can get really sort of hectic, like trying to balance going back out on the road and sort of creating and writing music in a studio environment. So it was quite nice in a way that we were able to sort of at least be in one place and work on things, as opposed to trying to juggle a touring schedule with writing and recording as well. So yeah, we've been lucky, and the process has been it's been pretty good for us.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm happy it worked out. So speaking of the album, you guys have some cool features on it because there's Simon Neil, who we already know from Biffy Clyro, was in the Nervous video. And then you got Derek Weebly from Sum 41 as well. So I was just wondering how you were able to get
Yeah,
them on the album because you can't really meet in person.
yeah, we basically just extended emails. We figured out that through a lighting guy that's toured with a lot of bands. Um, we met him a few years back, and he kind of said, Biffy are big fans of your band. And at the time, we were kind of youngsters. We were like, no fucking way. You know what I mean? Like, they're a huge UK rock band and have influenced us all. Um, so yeah, it was really great to find out that they were into our band and what we do. So yeah, we kind of just extended an email to Simon and said, look, we have an idea for this track called Nervous, and just kind of told him kind of what the theme of the song was, and sort of sent him the demo over. And he was so enthusiastic and up for being a part of the song, which was amazing. He was great to work with, such a positive guy, and just up for a laugh really, and up for getting involved. And everything that he put into the record, into Nervous, the single, we kind of just kept. His voice worked so well with the more anthemic side of While She Sleeps, and yeah, like I say, we kept everything he put in. He put some ad libs in there, and we wanted him to be able to sort of be free to work on it, and just do what he felt like, what felt right in the studio, and it sounds wicked. It was such a privilege to work with Simon on Nervous, and I think it can turn into a huge song for a lot of people, especially during sort of being more isolated than ever before, and during the pandemic. So yeah, that was a really awesome time to work with Simon. And yeah, like you say, we can't be together, but kind of like emails flying around and a lot of FaceTimes. And we actually, with the video, we actually shot Simon separately from the rest of us. So the rest of the guys obviously shot around where we're from in Sheffield in England, and he shot his parts in Scotland. But it was the first time I've ever been on a video shoot like remotely. It was kind of cool. Like, we were watching Simon do all his parts, and like our video guy had input, and they were chatting online. It was a really cool process. So yeah, that was crazy. And the Derek Wibley guest sort of came around in the same way. We're all huge fans of Sum 41. I remember skateboarding down to my local record store when I was a kid, and like picking up All Killer No Filler and just being blown away by like song after song of like hook melodies and like punk rock. So that was really cool, and definitely a bit of a tick the box moment for our guys in the band. And yeah, the same thing. We just reached out and was just like, we have this great idea for a song that we think that your voice would really lend itself to. If you're up for getting involved, let us know. And sort of it went from there. And again, like such a positive guy, so great to work with. And yeah, both of those songs came out great. I really can't wait for everyone to hear No Defeat for the Brave, which is, you know, not out there yet, but is going to be released in very soon, if not already, depending when this interview goes out.
I think I'll have it out before the album, hopefully.
Okay, great. So yeah, I'm stoked for people to hear it.
So another song that has a feature on it called The Void says it features Sleep Society. And I want to know who that is because it's the name of the album, but it's also the name of your Patreon. So I thought maybe it had to do with that.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a way that we wanted to sort of, you know, give gratitude to everyone in the society for sort of supporting us in that way. You know, it's not easy. You know, we understand that it's not easy to sort of dig a little bit deeper to support your own. To support your favorite artists. So we really appreciate that. I think one thing that is sort of truly amazing about our fan base is that, you know, regardless of whether they're in the Sleep Society or not, you know, that doesn't, you know, always matter to us. But our fan base seems to respond so well to the information that we put out and the way we try to do things and the campaigns that we launch. And they sort of digest the information that we've given them and then respond in such a positive way. And every time it sort of blows our mind. Every time we're kind of nail biting, being like, have we done the right thing? Then they always respond in such a positive way. So it's a great relationship to have. And we just want, you know, we want to involve this core fan base, this community that we've created in the most engaging ways possible, you know, really get them in there, really make them feel like, you know, they you know, getting more for subscribing to what we do in that way. And so this was just an idea that came about, and we basically said, look, do you want to sing on the record? So we basically gave him the lyrics and gave him the sort of tempo, and just said, look, if you want to be involved, record this. You know, it can be phone to phone or whatever, and get it back to us, and you'll be a part of the new Sleeps record. And what's really fun about that sort of the Sleep Society being involved is the words that the Sleep Society are singing within this song is the first lyrics that we wrote as a band when I joined in 2009. So it's a cool sort of like Easter egg, and it goes full circle in terms of like the gratitude shown towards them and how far the band's come, but also like it sort of relates back to the very beginning of While She Sleeps for a lot of people. So that it's really cool. And yeah, so that was the thinking behind getting them involved.
That's awesome. Yeah. So there's a reason to join the Patreon, guys. So speaking of the Patreon, like, have you liked the experience? Is it something you think you'll do even after the pandemic?
What's that? The Patreon platform? 100%. Like it's proving to be such a positive thing, and not just in the way of like sustaining the band, like the sense of community that we're creating there, and that the you know, the Sleep Society, the sense of community that's happening within there with the Patreon, and just the conversations that we open up in there, and like the different relationships that people have going on with the band and with each other in there is such a positive thing. Like people are just making connections through being a part of the Sleep Society, which is an incredible thing. You know, like for me, I remember being sort of a really young kid and being into sort of bands like Slipknot and Korn and Limp Bizkit, and, you know, sitting on the back of the school bus with my hoodie up, you know, just like jamming my tunes, and like people spitting at me and like trying to punch me and stuff for just kind of at that stage, like being different and liking this like weird style of music. I mean, it's a bit more different now with genres crossing over so much, but definitely when I was a kid, that was very apparent. And you know, it was one of those things where that never deterred me away from being into what I was into. If anything, it gave me an even stronger sense of community towards anyone else that like enjoyed that type of music as much as me. And I feel like to a certain degree, that's what we're feeling within the society. Like there's such a strong sense of community. And that's what While She Sleeps has always been about. You know, we're always the guys hanging out after the show, having a beer And we're still those guys now, you know, after we've played, if we're on a support tour, we'll be the guys sort of hanging out and watching the headline bands. We're just those dudes. And yeah, it's definitely proven to be a very special community and something that we're very proud of. But also, like, in terms of a model, I think that other bands, no matter how big or small, you know, whether it's an established band or just a band that's just starting to come up and sort of work things out and progress, like, I think the model that we've created with using Patreon at the forefront of our campaign could really help a lot of artists out. So yeah, I would urge people to try and work it into their campaigns or the way that they're doing things, because, you know, our situation isn't the same as everyone's, but it's definitely proven to be a really positive thing and a great community. We'll definitely continue it in the future. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So I know you guys have also started a podcast called Sleep's Brothers. So I want to ask a little bit about that, like why you guys started it and what kind of things you guys want to talk about, what you have talked about. Because I know you also had Josh from Yumi at 6 on it recently. So I want to know if that's a thing that's going to continue as well.
Yeah, we've started getting guests on it and speaking to people. I think, you know, a lot of these things, you know, just come down to us wanting to stay as connected as possible during a pandemic, but also, like, it's been in the pipeline to do these things for a long time. I feel like just having a bit more time at home is making us, you know, able to sort of fulfill these things that we've had in the pipeline for a while. For example, I've just started my own podcast called Throat. For anyone that knows While She Sleeps, they'll know that I've like partied so hard and screamed so much that I've been in and out of hospital before with my voice, and like really sort of at times found it hard to balance, you know, the whole lifestyle with like looking after my body and you know, my vocals. So I've started that, and I think that's just, I've had a little bit of time and I thought, you know what, like, why not do it now, you know? So that's, if anyone's interested, that's out there as well, Throat Podcast. But I think it's just interesting to stay connected, especially with people in our world, you know, in our scene, if you like. It's just great to talk. And I think, you know, being united at the moment as much as possible is so important, more important than it's been for a long time.
I think your mic might have cut out.
Oh, is it back?
Yes, okay.
That was definitely my hand over the mic. Sorry. Yeah, it's just a way for us to stay connected with our peers and keep our fan base, you know, up to scratch on what's going on, especially if you're not in the Sleep Society. You know, we put that podcast out for everyone to listen to. So it's just keeping everybody updated with what's going on in While She Sleeps world. And yeah, hopefully they're not boring, because it definitely feels like, for me, like, why the fuck do people want to listen to me hack on about some shit? So as long as it's fun for people, it's all good.
Yeah, I did catch a little bit of it, and I saw the first episode with the lion's mane. So even if you don't like to listen, it's fun to watch, right?
Yeah, I might keep that going. Keep dressing up.
So another thing I saw is you personally have been doing cameos. So I want to know a little bit about that experience. Has it been really popular?
Yeah, it's been great. People reach out to me quite a lot, and you know, they wanted birthday messages. It's hard to get through to everybody and sort of keep up with things like that. So I just sort of thought, you know, it's a great way for people to sort of book me in if they like to do shout outs to their friends and family. And again, like, it's so weird, like the moves that I'm personally taking and you know, the While She Sleeps are taking in terms of like this whole campaign, just feels like it's kind of working well with the pandemic, you know. It's just kind of weird. And I think people are just reaching out to me, you know, music lovers that like the band. They're just kind of reaching out to me, you know, sometimes to just brighten someone's day and just say happy birthday. Do you know what I mean? The way that I've never really thought about doing anything like that. And at times I found it a little bit cringy, you know, like, oh, people can like pay me to do stuff. But I think people just understand now, you know, it's not a free ride for musicians, and it's not as easy as I think it has been in the past, or the way people have thought about the music industry. I think it's all changing. And I think, you know, again, with the forefront of this campaign, the Sleep Society single, we set out to address some of the, you know, some of the fractures that are appearing in the music industry, and how crazy it is that like 95% of our music is streamed, but there's not really that much revenue that, especially like underground punk, rock, metal, hardcore bands can sort of take from that. And it feels like these genres are always the first to suffer, even though the demand is very much there. So I think people are just understanding that, and you know, it kind of makes sense for me to just jump on Cameo if anyone wants me to say, you know, what's up, and give their loved ones and families and friends like messages. So it's been cool to do, and yeah, again, like it's cool to hear from people from all over the world that are like, could you give my friend a shout out? She's a huge fan of your band, and yeah, it's just fun. It's good to do.
Awesome. Do you feel like you've been forced to be more productive this year? Or do you feel like it just happened because you have all this time now?
Say again.
Do you feel like you've been forced to be more productive?
Honestly, as a band, I don't think we've like been more productive. We've always been a very, very sort of hard-working band. I think that the sort of punk rock DIY ethic that we have running through the band has really made us survive. I think that if we didn't have that, you know, the industry, management, you know, and everything that goes with it could have easily crushed us by now. We're very good at sort of figuring it out and sort of moving with the industry and bouncing back from things. So I think it's testament to our hard work, you know, where we are now. Yeah, we definitely work very hard for what we have, and it's just really appreciated that people see that and our fan base enjoy what we're doing. But yeah, I do have to say that we work so hard, and I wouldn't necessarily say that it's the free time that's making us work like that. But yeah, definitely the staying in power and that work ethic that goes behind the band is one that keeps us striving and keeps us current.
So another thing to add to the list is you guys did your own barbecue sauce, which I want to ask about, called Sleep Sauce Society, which I love. And I want to ask, like, what goes into making a barbecue sauce? Like, how hands-on were you guys?
Not crazy hands-on. We just sort of knew what we wanted to create. You know, there's a lot of hot sauce out there. Personally, I like a hot sauce that sort of really kicks, but then dies down quite easily. I don't like it when you kind of like 10 minutes later you're still going fuck. So yeah, it was just something fun to work on. We just wanted to create a sauce, and yeah, we put that together with the guy who's doing that over here in the UK. I know there's a few other bands that have done one as well. We like You Meet at Six did one, Bosk have done one. So it's just something fun to do that's a little bit different from creating music and merchandise in the normal way. But honestly, the sauce was fucking gorgeous. Like we basically sold half of it, but kept more of it for ourselves. You know, like we were just like stockpiling it. Like when I ran out, I was like legitimately like gutted that I didn't have any more. It was nice. It was good. It was good sauce. You know how like sriracha kicks, but then it dies out quite quick. It was like a barbecue sauce, but it had a bit of that vibe. It was beautiful.
Awesome. Yeah, I saw it's only available in the UK, so I can't even get it.
Oh man, I think that's just down to all the like how weird deliveries are at the moment. With COVID and like Brexit in the UK, like it's really difficult for me. I really love brands from the States, but like the delivery charges now are like double the price you would pay for something. So it's insane. So like, yeah, it's just getting really difficult to order like cool shirts and things like that from other countries. So I don't know whether that's going to balance out eventually, but we really fucked it with that.
It's an exclusive now.
Yeah, definitely.
So you guys have a lot of sleep, like While She Sleeps, Sleeps Brothers, Sleep Society. So I hope it's okay if I ask you a few sleep related questions.
Yeah, go on then.
So my first question is, do you like sleep?
I love it. As a vocalist, it's crucially important that I get as much rest as possible. That's one of the things that I think, you know, you kind of setting out to do vocals when you're young, you just don't realize. And sometimes it works out, you have to miss out on the party to make sure your voice is healthy. But sleep, I love sleep. Yeah, definitely.
What's like your perfect amount of sleep per night?
12 hours.
Wow, okay.
12 hours. There's an ongoing joke in the band because like sometimes I just need to rest my voice. And if I'm on a long tour, you know, like it's good to get a lot of rest. But I think people like misinterpret that for laziness. So sometimes I get a bit of shit off the lads for just being in bed all the time. But yeah, I definitely don't think I'm a lazy person, but it makes sense to have as much rest as possible when I'm touring. So yeah, I like a lot of sleep.
And yeah, what would you say like you need for your perfect sleep? Like, are you a blanket guy, lights off, cold or hot?
Shit, that's tough. I like cold pillows. I hate it when the pillows get too warm and then you have to like turn them over. And even in the past, I've tried like they have like the cooling pillows and they never fucking work. But I like to be sort of warm and cozy, but also have a breeze. You know, I don't know. I like a bit of everything. A leg out, a leg in, cool pillows, the window open, still kind of warm. A bit of everything.
Awesome. So my last question, which doesn't have to do with sleep, is what's next for you guys?
What's next for While She Sleep is getting the record out. We're so excited for people to hear this new record, and yeah, it's been to be honest with you, it's been amazing to have something really productive to work on during this time. I know a lot of people have struggled with lockdowns and being isolated, and I think that, you know, especially for our sort of for our fan base, it's going to be, I think there's going to be a lot of stuff in there that you can take a really positive message from, with songs like You Are All You Need, Enlightenment, and Nervous. You know, I think hopefully there's some anthems in there for people who like really need them right now. It's become more of the songs. Even before there was a pandemic, we were trying to write the demos, but now more than ever, they feel like really relevant, which is amazing. So yeah, really stoked to get the record out and for everybody to hear it. I hope everybody loves it. Anyone that's going to read this interview or hear this interview that doesn't know the band, that I think that if you're open to genres, if you're not a genre snob and you like a bit of rock, metal, you know, a bit of anthemic vibes, then I think there's something there for you. So it would mean the world to us if you check it out. Yeah, April 16th, Sleep Society.
Awesome. Thank you, Laz. It was lovely chatting with you.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for your time. Appreciate
All right.
it.
Have a good one. I will let you go.
Yeah, you too. Have a good day.
All
Peace
right.
out.
Bye.